So recently, a nice fella, Mr. Dam 549, asked if I could give a guide on a reflection character. And oh boy, now you're speaking my language. Titan Quest is one of the only ARPGs where you can make a viable reflection character work, and not only work, but a proper geared reflection character sits in the absolute top tiers of TQ builds. I love it. Reflection makes you the Dactyl and makes Typhon the under-leveled first-time conqueror. It's glorious. You have a few choices when it comes to both gear and mastery. The way I see it is you pick one of either Defense, Dream, or Naden, then you always pick Earth. Firstly, Defense is a good idea. It has a lot of survivability, which allows you to stand still and eat hits. It also comes with some inbuilt reflection, in the Defiance skill with 60% reflect. Pretty good. Invincibility and Perfect Block can give you sustain while standing still, and Colossus is a good source of damage reduction. Defense is also quite good for getting out when you finally get overwhelmed. We also have Dream. The Trance of Empathy gives another 60% reflection, but this is permanent, so it's even better than Defense's version. On top of that, you have Sustain and Attack damage converted to health, some nice slow resistance in Temporal Flux, and the ability to teleport out if you're overwhelmed. Then we have Nadon. While Aura of Tranquility only gives you 23% reflection, it is easily the best of these three for survivability. It's also great for damage, too. Smoke Cloud is also useful for escaping when you get overwhelmed. Now, after you pick one of those three, I suggest always taking Earth Mastery. Why? When it only has middling fire retaliation and no direct reflection? Well, Stone Form is God's gift to reflect builds. You're invincible for 6 seconds with this, which is more than enough to cycle your potion, part of your defense rally or distort reality stun to escape. But mostly, even if you're invincible, you still reflect incoming damage. This is how you crap on Typhon. He casts his meteors, you cast Stone Form. Typhon dies and you laugh. It's hilarious. But how do we actually get reflection damage? 60% from your mastery isn't close to enough, obviously. Well, you're going to want icescale items, ideally 4 of them. These items drop from the Ichthian monsters in Ragnarok. You have arm, legs, chest, and helm. Each one of these gives you a buff with a 15% chance to reflect 200, 350, and 500% damage per difficulty. These are entirely independent of each other, meaning you can reflect no damage, trigger one of the item, 2, 3, or 4 at a time. It can be a long, arduous farm, but good lord, these items are incredibly powerful. Now, where do we get them? You're going to take the portal to Scandia, the run to the ship Captain Nebald just outside of the town, and take his boat to Cowponger. From there, you'll grab the fountain and begin farming the Ichthians in the very first area, both inside and outside the cave. Ice-scale items are rare, yes, but they're not hugely difficult to acquire like a Stonebinders or Bloodborne item. Keep at it, and you will get them. For each difficulty, you'll want to spend time here and upgrade your set to the next level. These items, combined with building your character defensively, is more than enough to clear the entire game. It even works well for hardcore. It just has a bit of a slow, early game. But how do we actually build the character? Well, because your damage comes from the enemies themselves, you'll want to build with little regard to damage yourself, somewhat similar to hardcore. Focus on survival, resistances, health, damage absorption. The ice scale items are somewhat strength-heavy, So the defense mastery is quite the good choice for reducing requirements. You're going to split your stats between health, strength, and dexterity. As much health as possible, really. Strength for gear and dex to prevent you getting critical hit. I'd suggest going 1 strength, 1 dex every level, and put a point or 2 into health every now and then. Because most of your gear slots are going to be filled with the ice scale items, that makes gearing actually quite simple. Get your vitality, pierce, and physical resistances as high as you can. Once that's done, then aim for health. Either percentage or flat. You should aim for resistances. But don't feel bad if you need to use a weapon with a bit of damage. Sometimes you'll just need to finish off an enemy. Stats like defensive ability, dodge, avoid, reflection, and retaliation are all good. Just work with what you find. A few quick tips. Do not use any sources of stun, slow, or sleep. You want the enemies to hit you as hard and as fast as possible. Don't use pets. They'll just slow you down. Oh, and keep an eye out for items with stone form on them. They can allow you to drop Earth Mastery entirely. That just about does it, I think. People like to cry about items from Eternal Embers being OP, but God, the ice scale items have been pants on head retarded for years now. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or have another build to request a guide on, please let me know. I love you all and God bless.